do this one the right way. We in here forever. Yeah. Die hard, homie, die hard. You can check the swag, he the realest by far. Swimming in that blue and orange, he the lifeguard. Yeah, he been through pain, at least he got some nice scars. He can smell a trophy, yeah, you need it back to back. Represent himself, his own name is on his back. 10 toes down, try to stop him, he come back. Bandwagon hoppers, he will knock you off your tracks. You ain't saying nothing, Nero been here from the start. He been working in the lab to take his team and make it art. See him going over film to help him build and make him smart. He will tell you how he feels because he's real and he got heart. He will never fade away, he will never change his face. Everybody picking faves and he's feeling out of place. Cause he is for the team and he always rep the squad. Like that Christmas movie, he gon' always die hard. City on my back. They ask me what's my name and it's on my back. I'm just speaking facts. We got big dreams, we ain't looking back. We be really die hard, yeah, that's a fact. We be really die hard, ain't no going back. Make the whole crowd rise like a thermostat. Fourth quarter, I'm the killer that's gonna murder that.
Bang! What's good, guys? Your boy Ebru, host of the Knicks podcast. Gonna unpack some things today, man. Talking about stuff that probably should have said something before, but I'm on some other shit now. This season, I'm an older person. I'm older, man. So the emotions and stuff like that they used to follow me with this game, with the Knicks and stuff like that, fandoms and stuff like that. I'm kind of over it now. I've been through so much with basketball. Keep it just basketball alone. Been through so much with the Knicks, so much with sports, so many lessons to learn to continue to moan and groan about the same thing year after year. You know what I'm saying? So that's where the experience comes from. So through my experience, like I said, what we're going through with the Knicks, we've been through before. You've been through it with Ewing. We've been through it before that. When the Knicks were winning before Ewing. I don't really remember that too much, but the stuff with Ewing, I remember. The stuff after Ewing, I remember. We got it back when Stoudemire first got here, to tell you the truth, because people keep giving Melo the credit like he came here. Melo was traded here. Amari Stoudemire was the one that came here. We went through all the drama with that. It's a lot of stuff to talk about when it comes to those different eras and stuff like that. But if you go through those type of things and just go through anything, like say like in life per se, and you keep going through the same type of things all the time, and you keep similar things, or you keep going through just trials and tribulations, and you don't learn from it, and you just keep going on and having the same response every single time, there's something's wrong with you, man. Absolutely. So that's the type of shit that I'm on right now. Before we get started, though, man, it's a couple sad news in the media today. I'd like to talk about Tina Turner, man. Tina Turner passed away. So I always thought Tina Turner was gonna live forever, man. They say she's a Swiss singer. Everybody knows her story. I mean, she moved out there, to get away from the United States, because of, whatever. Just follow her movie, read her autobiography, her autobiographies, or like unauthorized books, or whatever you want to say about this young lady. But she was extremely powerful performer up until recently. They said she died from some kind of illness. If the family chooses not to say anything, that's fine. But 83 years of life, man, she was a beautiful woman. She spent like I said, a major portion of her life, just giving it all out there on that stage, man. And she had most of her big time fame, pop star fame, as an older woman. You know what I'm saying? So it's amazing to have watched her all these years, and now she's up in heaven, man. So respect to Tina Turner. Here's another somebody else that passed away the other day. We got Mr. Jim Brown. I didn't really say nothing about Jim Brown, but Jim Brown, when you want to talk about activists, right there they put American civil rights activist over football player, because he started off as an athlete. That's one thing that thing like Tina Turner. She started off as a singer, and she became something much more. Jim Brown started off as an athlete, became so much more. An icon within the Black community. Did so much for the earth, as far as just being able to speak and get the opinion of somebody so big and so massive, that they are human too. They're just not here to entertain you, using that platform to bring light to social injustices and stuff like that. And a lot of the stuff that he was doing then, people are doing now. I can get into that too, man. But it's a little sad how people are using the stuff that these guys went through during their time, and they're using it now to spin a different kind of thing. But like I said, it's not that type of pod. But I just want to get through that real quick. Just give respect to him. He also died just in his 80s, 87. So live a long, strong life. He also was an actor too. I had a couple funny movies too. I'm gonna get you sucker. He was in that one. A couple other movies too that he's done. He's done a couple of serious movies. Definitely pretty cool. But here's a deep cut here that passed away. See if anybody even knows who this is. Superstar Billy Graham. For those that are into wrestling, his real name is Wayne Coleman. Superstar Billy Graham. This is not Hulk Hogan, but this is exactly who Hulk Hogan got his whole style from. Superstar Billy Graham. He's really like one of the first like major like superstars like that. The whole I want to say pimp superfly kind of era. From the white guy side, you want to talk about Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, I mentioned, Jesse the Body Ventura, all those that style of wrestler came from this era, Macho Man, and all this other stuff. But they all came from this man here. Um, as I'm talking about it, look, Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair reflect on the legend that they basically got their whole style from. One of the most larger than life stars with the monologues and special moves and the bleach blonde hair and the muscles that grow out of his asshole. You know what I'm saying? So just an amazing talent there, man. He basically every wrestler took something from Billy Graham, man. So he passed away also, and if I'm not mistaken, he was born in 43. So I'm not good at math. So that's 60, that's 80 years old as well. So some fellow human beings on this earth passed away, man. So I just want to make sure I give due respect to those guys before I continue on with the pod. There's somebody else that passed away too. I'm quite sure somebody's gonna say it in the comments to remind me and whatever. But it's not about making sure that I get the person. It's just the fact that I it just mentioned it to begin it with. You know what I'm saying? So big respect to these icons of their particular place on earth. You know what I'm saying? They all were a little bit more than just what they first started out to do. So anyway, we got Julius Randle and Tom Thibodeau. So I mean, this is like the yin and the yang. Like, which way do you go when it comes to making these Knicks better? But the key is between these two guys right here. So the issue is like everybody's on board of firing Julius Randle. Like I said, I don't want to get into keep repeating the sins of the past, keep repeating what happened before. Last summer, I wanted Julius Randle out of here. Obi Toppin, if you're gonna run with him, go with him. But I also didn't believe in this guy, Jalen Brunson. I didn't believe Jalen Brunson was gonna be as good as he is. And for people that are saying that, oh, I knew he was, you didn't think that Jalen Brunson was gonna be an all-world point guard because they screwed him this year. He should have been an all-star. He should have been part of one of the all NBA teams. He should have been part of that also. But I think that he didn't get chosen for any of those teams because he didn't make the All Star team. You know what I'm saying? So it would have been black eye on the NBA by giving him an All NBA team, but didn't let him get an All Star berth. So he just got screwed all around. So many different awards this year for Jalen Brunson, but he absolutely is a star of this team. But it goes without saying. But just looking at these two guys here, how could we go forward, knowing that both of these guys more than likely will be on the Knicks next year? So through all the arguing, all the people that keep saying that Julius Randle needs to get up out of here, that Tom Thibodeau needs to get up out of here. The truth is, neither one of these guys are leaving. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, what can we do to convince the people that hate Tom Thibodeau for him to stay? What can we do to convince people that hate Julius Randle to stay? And what can we convince to there's people that know something needs to happen, but know it's not going to happen for them to accept the simple fact that these guys are not going anywhere. You know what I'm saying? So, my opinion on these two guys, man, if Julius Randle leaves, then so be it. My thing with sports in general is that when it comes to building your team, it's not about getting the next star. That's what's been clouding this thing ever since Jordan came through. Getting the next star, getting the next Jordan, the next savior. There used to be savior when Patrick Ewing was here. The next great player to come here to help. Now it's like, oh, it's a superstar driven league. We need to get a superstar. Superstars win championships. Right now, Miami Heat is busting everybody's ass, to tell you the truth. Just give me to tell you the truth. Jokic right now is a completely out of shape European player, very good, and he's destroying your favorite all-star. He destroyed your favorite super team all up and down these playoffs, man. He took out the Phoenix Suns, which I didn't think they were going to do. but they took out the Phoenix Suns. They took out the Lakers. I actually had the Lakers beating them, but they took out the Lakers, swept them. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it goes down the line. You have to build a good team in order to win in the NBA period. Michael Jordan, they said Michael Jordan did it by himself. LeBron, they said LeBron does it by himself. LeBron is playing with Anthony Davis. Regardless of whatever opinion that you want to say about Anthony Davis is one of the best players in the NBA. Statistically, every single year since he's been in the NBA, just about. Like high 20s, high rebounds, double figure rebounds. He gets block shots. He shoots threes. He's one of the best players in the NBA, man. So, LeBron's not playing by himself. You got guys like Schroeder, who's the best German player out there. You got guys like D'Angelo Russell, who has success in this league. You go down the line. Roy Hachimura's on that squad. Go down the line. A couple other guys that came up this year, like the white gentleman. The young white kid is on the team that is about to get paid. He played really well for them. There's quite a few players that they have on that squad that's really good that you can give credit to. So I mean, he wasn't by himself this year. Shout out to LeBron when he won the championships with Miami. He had Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, bro. And then the next following year, he ended up getting Ray Allen. You know what I'm saying? So he had plenty of guys that he played with, throughout the years. Cleveland, the first Cleveland team, they say he didn't play with nobody, but he had Big Z on the squad. And he had a ragtag group of other guys too, but they were high level, what do you want to say, role players. The reason why they didn't win is because they didn't have nobody else to really score. And San Antonio and Pop, they were just too much for LeBron that first time they went to the finals. The second time in Cleveland, he had Kyrie Irving and then he had Kevin Love, both guys in their prime. What else can you say? Surround those guys with other players. The Knicks helped them out by getting J.R. Smith and Shumpert. You know what I'm saying? So they had a good squad over there. They had a very good squad. So LeBron never won by himself. He won because he was able to fill in the blanks. The GMs around him were able to fill in the blanks, which a lot of people say that LeBron was the GM, was able to fill in those blanks to get those guys those chips. Magic didn't win by himself. He had James Worthy, for Christ's sake. You know what I'm saying? He had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He had plenty of people. Even before that, when you can get in some players before those guys came along, he always had great players on his team. Larry Bird had Kevin McHale and freaking the Chief over there. He had Dennis Johnson. He has so many great players. So none of these players are going to win without having a good team around them. Even Michael Jordan. People get this generation keep clowning Michael Jordan, saying that he's not the GOAT because who did he play with? Oh, he had a good team, this and the other, because he played with Scottie Pippen. Of course, that's how it works. Like he's not going to be playing with. You're not going to win the championship by playing with G League guys. It's just not going to happen. For whatever people want to say about the players that LeBron played with compared to Jordan, it's just corny. It's just corny. Even Chris, you can get into Steph Curry and the Splash Brothers and stuff. Two of the greatest shooters to ever shoot the basketball were on the same squad, man. So what you want to say? It's just ridiculous. The narratives. That's one thing too. I just don't get the narrative thing. People just want to stick to a narrative rather than have a basketball conversation. So anyway, one thing Jordan said that I wish I would have keyed up here is Jordan said that it's like the who's the GOAT is a stupid conversation. Who had the best team? That's a different story. Now Jordan, he put up his 6 rings and he has 6 different teams that he played with. If you go through each squad, they were a different rendition of basically the same team. Especially the first 3 championships compared to the last 3. But if you look at the different mix of players that were changed in between that time period, what I'm saying? There was so many different players that switched around there. You know what I'm saying? And then you still were able to build up a different team each time to get to the championship. So it's never going to be the same squad. They're always going to change. Golden State Warriors, how many times did they change their squad and win? How many times did San Antonio, even though they had the core 3, with Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, and Ginobili, the rest of those guys switched up a lot. You know what I'm saying? But you have to get a solid group together to win. That's why San Antonio, even though they won 5 championships, if I'm not mistaken, they won them over the course of Tim Duncan's career, which was like 15 years, whatever, how it was. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that easy to win a championship in the NBA. But the one thing that's consistent every single year is the best team is going to win. The best team is going to win when it comes to that. So, I mean, how do we get the best team for Tom Thibodeau to succeed? How do we get the best team for Julius Randle to succeed? The line down here has to do with either one of them too, because Tom Thibodeau likes to play a certain way. I believe Julius Randle likes to play that way too. But when it comes to offense and what Tom Thibodeau puts Julius Randle through in order for Randle to do what he needs to do to succeed, has been atrocious. You know what I'm saying? That like that marriage is something that needs to change because you cannot have Julius Randle dribbling the air out the ball. You know what I'm saying? Looking to go one on one, standing on an island by himself, and just leaving him out there to dry when you're not running any plays or anything. No inbounds plays, nothing. They're not letting him give the ball up. They're not setting a screen for Julius to get Julius downhill. You know what I'm saying? That he doesn't have any easy shots that he takes. Like Julius Randle's constantly taking hard shots night in and night out, burning himself out. I don't even understand how he can even stand up on 2 feet, especially after these playoffs where he hurt his ankle twice. He came into the playoffs, didn't play the first game with a busted ankle. He couldn't play because of his ankles. And then he hurt his ankle again. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, yeah, he didn't play the first game. He didn't play the first game in Miami, if I'm not mistaken, right? So I mean, he got hurt twice. He got hurt before the playoffs, and he got hurt again entering the Miami series. But yet, and still, people expect Julius Randle to be this superstar guy that he doesn't get hurt. He should still get 30 points. He still get 15 rebounds. Still get 10 assists, and you want him to be a lockdown defender, night in and night out. Half you motherfuckers can't even keep money in your bank account. You know what I'm saying? A lot of NBA players like to talk about, oh, but you never played the game. You don't know what you're talking about. But listen, man, there's people out there that even further than that can't even keep $10 in their bank account. You know what I'm saying? They overdraft their bank account. They got to ask their boy, can I borrow $40 and shit like that? You know what I'm saying? Just to maintain their life on week to week, paycheck to paycheck. But people like that have all these crazy narratives and crazy thought process and crazy opinions about said players when they can't even comprehend how to rub 2 quarters together without getting electrocuted. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man. But before we get into more detail of this conversation, let me just say what's up to some people, and also to explain why I haven't done a pod in a week. Let me say what's up to Survey. Survey's here. Let me start from the beginning. We got Holcomb is here. We got Mr. Jarrell is always here. Shout out to you guys, man. We got White Falcon is here. Mr. Cully's here too. What's good, Cully? I just haven't talked to Cully in a while. We got to get up with each other. Yeah, man. Here's something else too. His survey says not only the best team, y'all got to be healthy and exactly. Also too, you gotta be lucky enough to make it through the playoffs without injuries. There's been so many times throughout the year where a team you think is doing so well, but then somebody gets hurt. Shout out to Paul George. He ended up getting hurt. So if Paul George didn't get hurt, I think Paul George and the Clippers might have beat Phoenix in their first round. So I mean, it's all here, no there. But I think the Clippers team had a better team if they had Paul George healthy over there. They probably would have beat them. So I just think that's interesting. So anyway, for me, the reason why you haven't seen me, oh, shout out to my man Shaz here as well. But the reason why you haven't seen me in a week because I had strep throat, man. I ended up getting strep throat. I mean, I was telling you guys I wasn't feeling well. I don't know what the hell's wrong with me. I ended up getting strep throat. You know what I'm saying? There's no way for me to get off of this wheel that I have here as far as working because like some people that they can't rub 2 quarters together. Listen, man, I have to go to work. I have to go to work. I got to take care of my kids. I got to take care of my wife and my kids. So I go to work and I work a lot of hours to do that. So that's the reason why that I'm not on here all the time. Because a lot of times, usually around this time, I'm usually just coming home at this time after working all fucking day. And I still managed to get the pods out, still managed to get some content out there because I really enjoy this. I really enjoy this, and I think my opinion is different than most people out there. Everyone else wants to be has that crowd mentality as far as opinions is concerned, but I think my opinion is a little bit different than most people out there. So anyway, before we get going to, please hit the thumbs up button and share it if you can. Just let people know about the Dying podcast and that I'm here doing stuff here, man. So let's get into some coaching guys here. Before Tom Thibodeau, because listen, Tom Thibodeau is he a good coach or not? The thing about Tom Thibodeau is that Tom Thibodeau, and Julius Randle, they definitely are the same guy. I'm quite sure these guys enjoy each other off the court because they're the same player. Tom Thibodeau is crazy with the mouth. Julius Randle is crazy with the mouth too. Pause. But they're both fiery, crazy dudes. Driven guys. You can see Julius Randle's always in tip-top shape. Of 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Even when he's hurt, he's in shape. Tom Thibodeau is constantly in the film room, constantly talking basketball. He's not married, has no kids. What I'm saying? The guy's life is basketball. So these guys have a lot of parallels with each other here. You know what I'm saying? So I mean but that's not the issue there. The issue with Tom Thibodeau is that he doesn't make really good in-game adjustments. He doesn't have any plays where he can utilize and make life easier for his team. He just leaves the guys on islands and let them take it over. Which Brunson accepts that job, which he's the point guard. He should be handling the ball. But Julius Randle should not be handling the ball at the top of the key, going between his legs 3, 4, 5 times against point guards. It doesn't make any sense, you know. So I think that's where Tom Thibodeau falls short. So anyway, let's get into some stuff here. So I hope you guys can see this here. This is some of the guys that got fired this year. The Detroit Pistons. This guy Dwayne Casey, man, he gave his life to this fucking team. Here definitely helped out the Detroit Pistons. Hopefully they gave him money out off the court and stuff because Dwayne Casey is not a bad coach. Dwayne Casey is a really good coach. If Dwayne Casey was coaching the Knicks, I think we'd be in a better shape. I think Dwayne Casey is a good coach. But as far as teaching the young guys the right way to be professional and things of that nature, and also vetting certain players, the guys that should be there and should not be there, I think Dwayne Casey is excellent for that club there. But he resigned from his post with them as the head coach. They transitioned him into the team front office role. So listen, he's gonna Dwayne Casey. They're gonna be paying that dude until he dies. You know what I'm saying? I'm quite sure they set his family up and everything. So, good. That's a good relationship to have there. So Dwayne Casey is going to be there. He didn't leave on a bad note. But they're going to get a coach in there that's going to help those young guys to go to the next level. And I think Detroit, if not next year, the year after that or very soon, are going to be knocking at the door for the rest of the league. Though. So keep an eye on the Pistons and who they pick for their coach. We'll get into some candidates in a second. The Houston Rockets, they got rid of Paul Silas. I mean, Steven Silas. That's Paul Silas' son. I feel sorry for the dude because he's not really a good coach per se, but he's out throwing out there with a bunch of arrogant young kids, man. That all notorious for having smart mouths and just being fiery kids and stuff like that. And Steven Silas is a pushover, and they were doing that to him live on TV for you to see it. And I kind of feel sorry for him, man. So his option wasn't picked up. Basically, they fired him. They let him go. But out of respect, they said they didn't pick up his option, that type of thing. So he's gone, man. So I mean, the Houston Rockets coach, who they're gonna pick? They end up picking Udoka. Ime Udoka. So Ime Udoka, he's gone through his problems too, man. But he's a little bit immature. For the little immature mistake that he did, as far as the infidelity and stuff like that. But anyway, somebody like him is somebody that I think that this group would be able to relate with a little bit better. And just going to the next level, I think Udoka probably would take this young Rockets club to the next level too, man. So watch for the Houston Rockets to step it up a little bit too, especially if Harden ends up over there. Milwaukee Bucks, this is a very odd move to me, man. Mike Budenhauser, they ended up getting rid of him after 5 seasons. He even won a championship with them. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I guess after 5 years with one team, that's usually the end of a coach's career, really. If they're not really getting the results that you think that they should have gotten, 5 years is usually the sweet spot. But he had a great coaching stint here with the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, if there was a coach that I would replace Tom Thibodeau with right away, would be Mike Budenhauser. For what Tom Thibodeau got us to. But Mike Budenhauser is the same exact coach, but Budenhauser makes excellent in-game adjustments. You know what I'm saying? And he's the same type of coach. So the Knicks won't miss any toughness in that way. But as far as in-game adjustments and stuff like that, utilizing players better, putting them in spots where they could succeed a little bit better, I think that he would be much better in that regard. As far as coaching the Knicks and stuff, man. So I think he would definitely be a nice little transition coach too, man, to take us to the next level. But we'll keep it moving here. We got Philadelphia, Doc Rivers, man. I think Doc Rivers is probably one of the worst coaches, the most successful worst coach I've ever seen. He won one title with Boston because he got Kevin Garnett with Paul Pierce and Ray Allen, both at the peak of their primes, and also with my man Rondo, the rookie Rondo. Hit the sweet spot, took the lead by storm, and they won that championship that first year. After that, you could say that he underachieved. Let's not forget before that in Orlando, he had Tracy McGrady, and they had that big imploding where they lost the first round series against Detroit. Detroit actually went on to win the championship that year, if I'm not mistaken. But still, they should have beat Detroit that year. That was crazy. But Doc Rivers keeps getting jobs. I don't understand. I think he blows away interviews. So he can bamboozle teams. He went to the Clippers with the Lob City. They never won nothing. They were a horrible playoff team A lot of the reason is that because Doc Rivers is basically Tom Thibodeau. That he does not know how to make in-game adjustments. One big story about Doc Rivers that Nate Robinson and told was that it was Game 6. I forgot what team they played, but they were winning and they won because of Nate Robinson and because of Big Baby. In Game 7, Doc Rivers didn't play either one of those guys in Game 7, and they ended up losing the game. Excuse me, Doc Rivers. I don't know what's going on in him. Old school type of coach. He coaches not because of what's happening on the court. He coaches from a different place, and that's where Tom Thibodeau is. Like I said, it's no mistake that Tom Thibodeau was his top assistant when he won in Boston. You know what I'm saying? So, it is what it is with that. Monty Williams, that's another. This is a guy that I think he'd be an excellent transition coach for the Knicks too, to take us to the next level because the people that he thanked for bringing them to this level wasn't even players that he played with long. He was talking about Knicks players from his first year or two when he was with the Knicks, and he had that heart problem. He didn't really get no minutes. He didn't talk about Popovich or none of those guys because he played for San Antonio too. He didn't talk about anybody. He talked about Knicks players. So Monty Williams, I think that's the forgotten son that he needs to come back to the Knicks and really solidify what it is to be a Knick. And you want to talk about guys that are going to keep people accountable? I can see Monty Williams squaring up against Julius Randle, talking about, yo, let's shoot the joints. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to pass the ball? Let's shoot the fair one at halftime. You know what I'm saying? I could totally see Monty Williams doing that. So Monty Williams, if there was anybody on the squad on this thing in short list, he would definitely be on the short list. Excuse me. We got Toronto Raptors Nick Nurse. That's another good coach. You want to talk about in-game adjustments? He's probably one of the best in-game adjusters in the league as far as Nick Nurse. He won the championship also. You can't forget that with Kawhi Leonard. But like I said, in-game adjustments, being able to ride the moment, know when to substitute the correct way, know when to get the ball to the superstar, let the superstar do what they do, know when to call plays to get the superstar open. Things of that nature. Know when to get the ball handlers involved and stuff like that. This Nick Nurse is just a great coach. His defense is decent. He always keeps his guys, even though they didn't win. When it comes to winning special games, for some reason, that Toronto Raptors team always won the special games. Even though they weren't successful the last couple of years, being shorthanded or whatever excuse you want to give them. When it comes down to special games, like playing against the Knicks and something like that, the Toronto Raptors usually won. So it's something special about Nick Nurse being able to motivate guys when the time is needed. So, he's definitely on the short list as well. The Wizards' Tommy Shepard was fired from his role as team general manager. So, I mean, Tommy Shepard, I don't know what the fuck he's doing there. You can look at his track record as general manager and see what he's been doing the last couple of years, and you really want to shake your head about the signings and stuff like that. He wants to get a big three. They haven't even made the playoffs yet with Kristaps and Kuzma and Beal. He wants to max all these guys out with no team. They haven't had no proof that they can win together. And so he's definitely was fired, man. So I can see them blowing up the team, but that's for another pod, another day. Let's scroll up in the same article. So this is a Fox Sports article that I'm giving credit here to. So let me just make sure I say who's the author. I don't see the author's name here. But this is definitely a Fox Sports article. So let's keep a look. Let's take a look here. Like I said, Amy Doker is the coach for the Houston Rockets. Detroit Pistons. They have several people they're looking at. Raptors assistant coach Adrian Griffin. The reason why I'm drawing this out because these are names that the Knicks should be looking at. We should have fired Tom Thibodeau, in my opinion. After our display against the Miami Heat, I think the Miami Heat should have fired our coach. They basically he took out the Bucks coach. So I mean, the Knicks coach should have been fired too. You got Chris Quinn, you got Charles Lee, Josh Longstaff is from the Bulls. You got Brian Keefe, he's a former player there. Jerry Stackhouse, I think Jerry Stackhouse might end up being the Detroit Pistons coach because he's been linked to them for so long. Kevin Ali is interesting as well for me. Ime Udoka is already with the Rockets though, but I think Jerry Stackhouse is interesting name for that Detroit Pistons thing there. Ironically, Detroit Pistons they traded Jerry Stackhouse for Rasheed Wallace in order to get the championship, so that's interesting too. So the Bucks they interviewed Mark Jackson, which is big because nobody's interviewed him in a while. So Mark Jackson would be interesting talk there. But I'll read some names that I haven't said. You got Chris Quinn, I said there. Kenny Atkinson is back in the mix there with the Bucks. Who else? James Borrego from the Hornets, and Nick Nurse as well. They said Nick Nurse is a finalist. I can see Nick Nurse over there. Nick Nurse is probably the same kind of coach as Budenholzer is, but like I said, he's able to get guys up for important games. So I think that'll be very important for them. One thing to consider with the Bucks is that they probably need to blow up the team, maybe. I don't know if trading Giannis is something that's even possible, but I mean, looking to blow up the core guys there and maybe try something different. If they do that, they're really gonna have to talk to the coach and figure out what the coach needs and figure that shit out. But because they still have a lot of story to tell with that Bucks franchise, with the particular group, they got Middleton and Holiday and Giannis as the main three. Even some of the other guys, Bobby Portis and Lopez, those guys are good too. But some of the other guys, they need to get in the mix and mix it around. But like I said, maybe a shakeup, some kind of shakeup has got to be done here with the Bucks in order to change what they do because the Miami Heat, saw the blueprint and they beat them. You know what I'm saying. So nobody's going to be afraid of that now. They're just going to do what Miami did. You know, the Sixers. The Sixers absolutely they traded. I mean they fired this guy Doc Rivers. They need to blow the team up. Harden is already talking about he want to go to Houston. I never heard of that before where players are picking their team that they want before they even get off the team. It's crazy. Sam Cassell, I could see him going there, as being an assistant behind Doc Rivers. I could see Sam Cassell finally getting his chance to be the head coach because they should be rebuilding. As a rebuilding team, Sam Cassell, he could come on and take on that thing. Mike D'Antoni's name is there. Frank Vogel, Monty Williams, Nick Nurse, also Budenhauser too. Man, like I said, this team is in disarray. They need to rebuild the team. So I just don't think that the 76ers should be looking to get a coach in here to fix what they didn't have or whatever. They really need to figure out what they want to do for the future. And I think trading Embiid, getting rid of Harden is probably one, two. Tobias Harris probably needs to get up out of there, and they really need to build up behind all the young guys that they have. And they have a lot of ragtag group of dudes on that squad too that needs to get off of the squad. They really need to try to get some draft picks in here and with Philly and just rebuild it. Like I said, Sam Cassell, with him being a brand new coach, that probably would be a good deal for him. Frank Vogel is a good coach. He's on my short list as well. He's a good defensive coach, nasty guy. He's going to be in the mix fighting with you. So that's somebody that I appreciate as a coach. Like I said, D'Antoni never needs to get another opportunity, man. His days are over. Um, let's keep it moving. The Phoenix Suns, that's another team. Yeah, I don't believe in them either. Tyrone Lue, Kevin Young, those are two different names there. I don't know who they would pick because I mean they're a superstar run team. They definitely need to upgrade certain spots on their squad. They're going to need a trade or something like that, to help their team out because they're too superstar driven with Booker and this guy Kevin Durant. So they're gonna have to figure that out. So I don't know who they should get as a coach. Toronto Raptors. Toronto Raptors. They're a weird team too. There's several players on their team that could be gone as well. So I'm looking at some of these names here. Kenny Atkinson is a coach too that I enjoy. I don't know about him, but as far as the Toronto Raptors, I'm thinking they should probably get Steve Nash. I see Steve Nash here. They said JJ Redick interview for the job. If they're gonna get JJ Redick, they might as well go for Steve Nash. And then if they're gonna go for Steve Nash, they need to start looking around the league and start trading for more Toronto-based players, just to get the interest back in the country for basketball because they have a really good international team there now. Situation similar to what the USA is doing. So with Steve Nash there, this best actually his best friends is RJ Barrett's dad, Rowan Barrett. So listen, they need to see if they can try to get Barrett on that squad. Some of these other guys too, like around the league, Wiggins and stuff like that. Try to get some Toronto-based players in Toronto just to keep the interest there in Toronto, especially right now. They're in a transition time right now. I think so. They really need to figure that out. Washington Wizards, man, fuck the Washington Wizards. So let's just keep it moving, man. Let's get it back to the Knicks here. Let's get it back to Tom Thibodeau and Randall. So Tom Thibodeau, why is he such regarded as a great coach? Number one big thing here, right in the middle of the screen here, 65 years old, bro. So how much longer is this guy going to be here coaching for us? He's not going to be coaching forever. 5 years is a sweet spot. Right now we are entering what is this, like the third year that he's been head coach of the Knicks. So 1 year in the playoffs, the second year out the playoffs. This year, he made the playoffs again. So 3 years, right? So next year, what's going to happen next year? Are we going to make the playoffs? Or are we going to play this game with him? What kind of team is going to show up for him next year? What improvements are we going to make to give Tom Thibodeau the opportunity to be the guy that we need him to be? So I don't know if they put the actual contract. Let me see if they put his contract here. Because I know they do it for the players. I don't think they do it for the coaches here on this here. But they did hire. What does it say? They hired him. They don't give you the exact numbers there. But I believe he signed a 4-year contract. So, he's probably going to stay this whole year. It's going to be a catastrophe if we ended up having to fire him because the Knicks are not playing the way they should. So I think we need to nip that in the bud. So anyway, I mean, he has a long history here as an assistant coach. Minnesota first, San Antonio, Philly. Then he was the assistant coach for the Knicks for a long time, uh, into his 40s. Then Houston Rockets, he was the assistant coach with Jeff Van Gundy. In Boston, he went with Doc Rivers. Finally as a head coach at 53. So we're talking about 12 years as a coach now. Chicago, he inherited a really good team. He won 62 games. Then look, if you look at it, every year the team got worse and worse 50, 45, back up to 48, back up to 50. Then he gets fired, you know? So that's a sweet spot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He gets fired after the 5th year. That usually happens if you're not getting the success that you're looking for with the coach, right? He goes to Minnesota as the GM and the president. 31 wins the first year, 47 in the next one. Here's another trend. 19 wins in the third year. So he had one bad year with a good year, and then all the way down in the basement. Almost again, he got fired halfway through the year, 19 and 21. So this is what Tom Thibodeau does. Is he going to succeed or not? Is like you just don't know. You just don't know how he's going to start the year. How's everything going to be? How is he going to screw himself? Like with the Kemba Walker situation, Kemba Walker and Fournier situation, he screwed himself with that by benching both of those guys. He didn't really need to do that. Even this year, with these Knicks, he benched Rose and he benched Fournier again. Like, what was the reason? What was the reason for it? When it comes down to the Knicks, right? Let me bring Tom Thibodeau back up here. When it comes down to the Knicks, what do we need? What do we need to get us through these playoffs? We needed Brunson to have a viable backup behind him. That was Derrick Rose, but we didn't play him all year. Derrick Rose needed a backup guy to spell him, to give him the breather that he needed. Like him playing 48 minutes a night, that's crazy. For the point guard, for especially all the beating that he takes and all the dribbling that Brunson is required to do to succeed, he needed a backup point guard to give him 20 minutes, man. Give him 15 to 20 minutes. That way he can, instead of playing 48, now he could play 35 or something like that. 35 minutes a night. The 48 is too much. I know it's the playoffs, but still, he needed that guy to come off the bench to give him that breather. Shout out to Miami Heat with Lowry. They benched Lowry, even though Lowry's their closer. They benched Lowry and they put Gabe Vincent as a starter. Because you need to keep your guys healthy when the time comes. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, that's Tom Thibodeau's MO. He runs guys into the ground. So we needed a backup point guard. We had one in Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose was not done. He could have gave you 15 minutes. Quality 15 minutes, getting to the basket, hitting the open three and things of that nature. That's what we needed, especially a veteran guy that won't be afraid in the playoffs. Excuse me, we needed that. IQ wasn't that guy. He was afraid in the playoffs, But if we were playing Derrick Rose enough, then Derrick Rose could have came in there and probably brought some veteran leadership out there in the times that we needed it. Fournier, we needed a 3-point shooter. Fournier was literally top 5 3 points made last year. I think it was like number 2 3 points made last year. In the NBA, I forgot what the stat was. Even though we lost, he still was up there. He broke the Knicks record in 3 points made. And we didn't even play him properly. So if we needed a 3-point shooter, we should have played Fournier. Fournier don't play defense, but it wasn't a matter of that we were getting smoked on defense like that. It's the fact that we couldn't make shots. We were not making the 3-point shot that we needed to make when the time came. So we should have played Fournier. We should have played Fournier, but Tom Thibodeau refused to make those type of adjustments. Shout out to Duncan Robinson on Miami. Duncan Robinson didn't play all year. He's playing a lot in the playoffs now. But like I said, if you look at the stats, Duncan Robinson didn't play all year. He's been benched. He got paid, yeah. But the Miami Heat don't care if you got paid. You have to play the way that they want you to play. If you're not playing up to par, then you don't play. But they needed him. They had a strategy with a 3-point shooting. Duncan Robinson came in like a true professional and just kept shooting, and now look at Duncan Robinson. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, Fournier, true professional, got to be ready when your time is called. The Knicks need you. Tom Thibodeau should have called on him, and Tom Thibodeau just doesn't have that ability in his coaching repertoire, man. So that's a shame to me. So look at the accolades: Coach of the Year back in 2010 and 11, Eastern Conference Coach of the Month a lot, Coach of the Year again with the Knicks in 2020 21, Eastern Conference Coach of the Month here in May. Well, that was 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, he has the hardware, but he has no championships, and he doesn't have like the consistency as a coach night, year in and year out to even prove that he is what people say that he is. So I think that's interesting. Julius Randle. I'm not gonna get too much into his stats, man, because people keep saying, "Oh, the stats don't matter" and stuff like that. But then right in the same breath they'll mention somebody else and say the stats matter. So I don't get it, man. Julius Randle, 28 years old, he's in his prime. The dude had 25, 10, and 4 last year, man. Sheesh, you know. 25, 10, and 4. 45% from the field, 34% from three, 75 from the free throw. Let's just check his last couple years with the Knicks here. His whole Nick career. Let's do that. His whole Knicks career, 22, 10, and 4.6. Great statistics all across the board there. 34% from the 3-point line, 44% from the field, from 2-point range, basically 50%. You know what I'm saying? So 6 free throws per game. So I mean, the guy's a workhorse. He's been playing really well for us in the 4 years that he's been here with the Knicks. First year with Fizdale, but 22, 10, and 4.6. So I mean, he's been putting up great numbers. So the thing is, like, how do we replace a guy that's giving you 22, 10, and 4.6? They don't grow on trees. Now listen, people say, "Oh, but we don't need somebody to get that. We can get somebody that can get 16, 16, 8, and 2. We still can win." So let's talk about that. 16, 8, and 2. What happened in the playoffs here? Um, against Miami. These games. Let me get rid of that. So look at this here. I'm just gonna do it in my head here. He basically averaged, was that 20? He basically averaged like less than 20, about 16 points per game. Basically like maybe three assists. And as far as the rebounding, close to about maybe 8 rebounds. So 16, 8, and 3, maybe. I'm just doing that off the top of the head because I'm not really good at math. But let's even just do it like this. Look at the playoffs here for this year. The entire playoffs in 2022-23, 16, 8, and 3. Like I said, 16, 8, and 3 this year. The last time he was in the playoffs, 5 games, 18, 11, and 4. So listen, we can find somebody that can average 16, 8, and 3. That might be Obi Toppin, right? But at the same time, we still need somebody else to get. You get what I'm saying? We need somebody else to be able to be that scorer guy. And Brunson can't average 40 per game, and we're gonna win like that. We're gonna need somebody else to get here. So we're gonna, even though we get rid of Julius and you want to slide Obi into that spot, and if you believe in Obi, that's fine. You know what I'm saying. But we still need another player at another position, if you want, to give us a score, 20-something point score. Can RJ be that guy? People seem to think that RJ could be the 25-point a game scorer. He could be. If you believe he could be, that's fine. But we still need another player. We still need another player. Because you're selling yourself short by saying just getting rid of Julius and just like, just getting whatever here. That's gonna make us so much better. Just addition by subtraction, it might. You know what I'm saying? But if we're talking about winning a championship, if that's important to you to win a championship at this juncture, then that's what we need to do. A couple of rumors out there. I'll get into rumors in another podcast, but they're talking about trading Julius for the third pick from Portland. Why would we do that? Trading Julius for the third pick. Is that third pick going to be the players going to help us get to that championship? This guy Brunson is like 27. Brunson's older. So we need to quicken the timeline a little bit. We can't be developing rookies at the same time where we're knocking on the playoffs door right now. We have to be more. I don't know. We have to be more smarter. To me, I think we have a unique opportunity to get better. And I just think that mentality of just getting rid of Julius and getting whoever here, it's just not the right mode. It's not the right mode. And people hate him so much that if we hate him so much, and then we're basically the voice of all fans because nobody talks shit as much as Knicks fans do. Excuse me. All of these posts about Julius Randle or anybody, any trade rumor or whatever, there's nothing but Knicks fans underneath those trade rumors on Twitter, at least comments. Nothing but Knicks fans, all those Knicks avatars and Knicks fans names and stuff like that, all underneath the every post. No other fan represents the NBA community more than the Knicks do. I'm saying that to say that teams looking from the outside looking in, they know what our opinion is. They know that we think Julius Randle is pure ass. So they know that. They watching the same games that we see. They watching our same podcast. They probably listening to the same spaces that you listening to. So they know what the fans say. Shout out to Richard Jefferson. Richard Jefferson knows what we say. All those guys know what we say. They think it's hilarious. You know what I'm saying? So they don't want no parts of any trades. You know, and then all, at the same time too. Shout out to Nixar. This guy Nixar. Nixar Nice. He mentions JB, RJ, Kuzma, and Cat. So I mean, but he has Randall still there. But I'm just saying, Cat. Would guys trade Julius for Cat? Why would the Minnesota Timberwolves want Cat on a team if Cat, excuse me, if Julius has such bad body language and he's such an asshole? Why would the Minnesota Timberwolves want him? You know, why would the Washington Wizards want Julius Randle if he's such an asshole? You know, so I don't know. These are just questions that I put out there for other people to talk about, because everyone's out there is so smart. So back to the coaching situation with Tom Thibodeau. Tom Thibodeau needs to be put under the bus because we're gonna look at the last game that Julius Randle had. We're basically gonna look at all of his shot attempts. So bear with me for a second because I got. So bear with me for a second here. This is going to be all of Julius Randle's shot attempts in the last game, final game against Miami. Right. So let's get this up here. So I mean, you can see on the right hand side all these X's here on the right hand side, but these mostly were like one-on-one type of things. 14 shots he put up, and I think he only made like two, something like that. So anyway, let's get into these moves here. I'll stop it accordingly. So Julius Randle does find him. Julius Randle is actually right here on the left hand side, being guarded by one of the guards here. So let's push play on that. So there he goes. He gets the ball. He's just standing on an island in a 2 point stance, and his step back jump shot no good. It's a bad spot. It's just a bad shot because that's where Tom Thibodeau puts him in. Here he goes with RJ posting up, which is never a good thing. Having RJ posting up looking to pass out is not a good idea. But look at Gabe Vincent playing supreme defense on him. But RJ should be eating him alive, but RJ can't. Now watch what happens. Fakes it, double team, kicks it out to Julius. Now Julius just catches it and he just launches it. He launches it because he feels he needs to launch it. He should have passed it. We could take a look at that from that regard. RJ goes into a double team, gets it out to the right guy. He should have gave it to Grimes, but he didn't. He's late to the ball to try to pick it up. This guy Jimmy Butler cuts his feet off from underneath him. But Julius was probably too tired to jump on the floor, guys. To tell you the truth, legs are dead. You're not thinking straight. You know what I'm saying? His ankle's probably hurting him. He's probably feeling like shit because I can't make a shot. I can't make a good play. I can't do nothing right. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to shoot myself out the slump. These are things that these guys are going through. The stress of the game, trying to contribute, thinking that you're not contributing, feeling like you don't know what to do. So I mean, you have to add the human element to these things here. So here he goes, Julius Randle, top of the key here. Gets the ball from Grimes a little late. Drives up there, gets a nice little lip. So I mean, that's exactly how we should be using Julius Randle all day long. Catching him in the transition. Let's watch this play again. Like I said, Grimes gave him the ball a little bit too late, but Grimes going against the young guy, bumping him. That's exactly how he should be scoring every single time, because you can't stop Julius Randle when that happens. Let's take another play here. Julius Randle kicks it out to Brunson here. So let's see what's going on with this play. Gets it to Brunson. Brunson fakes it. So I mean, Julius Randle gets into Brunson's way there, looking for the ball. So then now Brunson has to give it to him. So let's take a look at this again. So Julius Randle gives it to Brunson. So Brunson's in the corner. Julius gets in his way. So now double team is there. So now Brunson has to give it to Julius. So let's check it out. Julius just shoots a fadeaway jump shot. He knocks it down. So listen, that's Julius Randle asking for the ball in the right spots there. So I mean, that's he wanted the ball in the spot because he felt it at that time, knowing who he was guarding. But he got in the way of Brunson. He didn't set a screen for Brunson. He just got in his way. So Brunson was forced to give him the ball now because Jimmy Butler and those guys trapped him on the other side. He had to pick up his dribble. So anyway, the shots like that with Julius Randle in the deep post like that against a smaller defender, taking the bump and then turning around and shooting in the paint for that fadeaway jump shot, that is a great shot for Julius Randle. So those are the two makes. So let's take a look at some of these other shots here. So we got Julius Randle bringing the ball up the court, which we don't like, right? He's guarding one guy, steps over into a transition three-point shot. Just a horrible decision. Horrible, lazy decision. Just watch how he dribbles up the court. He's just done. He's done. You know, step to the side, dribble. Now he's just trying to. I don't know what's going on there. You know. So I mean, for those that say his body language stuff like that, they have a point. But at the same time, you got to look at the big picture here. Julius Randle's hurt. I'm quite sure he's hearing everything that we're saying about him. He knows he's playing bad. He feels like he needs to shoot, to make some baskets, to try to get hot, so he can get this team back into the game, type of thing. But nothing's going right. Nothing's going right for him. So it is what it is. So here we go. Julius Randle posting up again. Tom Thibodeau got him here on the island. Hasn't made a shot all game there. He doesn't recognize when is a good shot and what isn't a bad shot. So here we go again. Just he got the what's the name? The Carmelo Anthony syndrome here. But Carmelo probably would have made the shot. But anyway, you push a play here posting up there. He should have gave it to Brunson. But he decided to shoot an off balance jump shot, being double teamed and stuff. So anyway, here goes another play. Brunson there driving, trying to create something from nothing. Fighting for nothing, fadeaway jump shot when he should not be fading away. Let's take a look at this again. This is him again. Start at the beginning of this play. He gets a little bit too much dribbling against a guard, face up dribbling against a guard. He's in a spot. He's being a triple team there, and he shoots a fadeaway jump shot. Doesn't have his feet set. Nothing's going right for him there. Here we go again. Looking for Brunson in the post there. Double team is there. Takes a dribble. He decides to go up and under and go through guys instead of passing the ball. I wish I could replay that one again. But anyway, here goes Brunson again. Gives it over to Julius. Julius sidestep, three-point shot. Just not a good shot. Got his own rebound and lost it. It's just not a good two horrible possessions. Here we go again here. Julius just step back and shoots a three. Not even unconscious. He made it though. So just unconscious. Here he goes again, Julius there. Grimes should have just shot that. And then Julius gets his side steps and then shoots a three. Just a horrible decision there, shooting that ball. Last shot here. He goes Jimmy Butler guarding and playing very physical. He's being triple teamed. Essentially, four guys were looking in his way, but he decides to fade off the side there. It's horrible, man. So there goes Julius Randle again, just launches another jump shot. Just bad. Now we get into crunch time. This is like 4 minutes left in the game here. Julius Randle snaps around, gets the ball, and he just launches it. Misses another shot. Just bad decisions there. But these are shots that Tom Thibodeau want him to shoot. These are shots that Tom Thibodeau agree with. These are look at the shot attempts there. A lot of deep threes. What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 unconscious deep threes. A couple of these fadeaways here. 1, 2, 3 fadeaways in on the perimeter there. Just horrible shots. Just shots that have no thought process. There's no like certain teams, they don't really run plays. They have a scheme going on, but it's like there's nothing going on out there that's putting Julius Randle in a spot where he can succeed at all. And then also too, if the guy is hurt and what he's hurt, why you got him out there? Why you got him out there? You like Julius Randle is not. I mean, not Julius Randle. Obi Toppin is not hurt. Play Obi Toppin. If something's going on with Julius, if Julius is not doing what he needs to do, get Obi Toppin out there and run something different. Get the ball moving again. Get up and down the court, play defense. Let's get the ball moving. Get guys going back door and stuff like that. But no, Tom Thibodeau doesn't have that. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem. Tom Thibodeau doesn't have that in the coaching scheme. Whatever on day one of the season, whatever he had in his mind on day one of the season, he got that same thought process in his mind in the final game of the year. You know what I'm trying to say? So it is what it is with that. So what are we gonna do with these two guys? How can we succeed? For me, I think we need to fire Tom Thibodeau, and we probably need to get either Nick Nurse, Mike Budenhauser, or my man from Phoenix. Um, whew, I tell you, I got strep throat, man. So it started to really bother me right now. What's my man's name? The son's called Monty Williams. Excuse me. And Monty Williams, we need to get either Monty Williams, Budenhauser, or Nick Nurse here. Monty Williams, I think, is the guy that we need to get in here to take us to the next level as far as keeping guys accountable. That's what everybody keeps crying about. Who's going to keep Julius Randle accountable? His name is Monty Williams. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, Monty Williams will fuck Julius Randle up. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think anybody's going to jump in there and break that up. You know what I'm saying? It kind of needs to happen. But we don't want a fight to happen. But I'm just saying, somebody that's going to hold Julius Randle accountable. I think Monty Williams is that dude. So, outside of that, I think that's it. We need to fire Tom Thibodeau. Julius Randle, do we need to trade Julius? If we, like I said, if we trade him, I'm fine. But you have to make it make sense of how we're gonna make the Knicks better. I'm not gonna get into this thing where we need to trade him because I can't stand him or stuff like that. No, there's plenty of players I can't stand. I can't stand Mitchell Robinson, and you haven't heard me mention his name once in this entire podcast. You know what I'm saying? But if Mitch Robinson is in the plans, then he's in the plans. But make it make sense. If Julius Randle's in the plans, make it make sense. Get the offense and the defense, everything running in such a way where guys are more successful in the things that they do really well. Don't put them out there where guys have to go overboard and do superhuman things night in and night out in order for us to win. You know what I'm saying? It's just not right. You got to put guys in the right positions to succeed on both sides of the ball. And that's the issue that Julius Randle and Mitch Robinson is having. They don't have anybody holding them accountable for the bad things that they're doing, and then they don't have anybody putting them in positions so they could succeed and be successful out there. So that goes to every player, but really, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson, Grimes, all those guys really. Everybody needs that coach to really put the fire to their balls and let them know. So listen, man, we need you, fam. We need you to do your job. You're not doing your job like that. And like I said, Monte Williams has no problem doing that. And that's the guy. I think that's the guy that we need to get up here. It's Monty Williams. So let me do that then. Let me just put Monty Williams there. Just have the facial recognition just to let people know that this is the guy that I would prefer to be the head coach of the Knicks right now. Let me see. Yep, there you go. Monty Williams, Mr. Monty Williams. I'll leave him there. This is the guy that I think should be the head coach. Like I said, as far as Julius, I don't mind Julius being traded. But for me, I would like to get another guy in here to push Julius Randle's role down the totem pole. If he could trade for Cat, like I said, I mentioned in the prior podcast, trade for Cat, but don't trade any of our main guys. Like RJ has to stay, Julius has to stay, and Brunson has to stay. Anybody else can go for Cat. Get that fourth person in here, Cat. If Cat's here, maybe Mitchell Robinson has to go, but bringing somebody else in here on the roster too to help out as well, and that should make us better. It also should push certain people down the totem pole. Hopefully, RJ ascends his game to the next level where Julius Randle could play more of a power, dirty work kind of style of game. Facilitator, dirty work style. The RJ could be more of a true third wheel scorer on a team like that. And then Cat will be number two, Brunson will be number one. You know what I'm saying? That would be interesting to me. Maybe like I said, maybe Mitchell Robinson stays to be that defensive player coming off the bench. Maybe Hartenstein stays to help us out with that as well off the bench. But we need to do something with that. We need to do something, and I think that's very important there, man. So anyway, I'm just about hitting the hour, so just basically what I wanted to talk about. Hope you guys got into it. For those that are coming in late, for those that will pop in later, hope you guys enjoy the replay. So please check out the replay if you didn't check out the full pod. Before we get out, let me just say what's up to everybody. The people that I missed since they were coming in here. Let me just bring it all the way uh down to Paris Duggar there. But let me say what's up to some of these other guys here. So I'll just shout out. I'll start with Nick Gay here. Shout out to Nick Gay. What's good, Nick Gay? So you got your family and stuff there. Shout out to your family. Monty would never make sense. Yeah, so says Monty ain't hold everybody accountable. So I mean, let's talk about Monty. Who did Monty not hold accountable on that squad? You know, because that kid from the Caribbean, my man Deontay Aiden, I think he was all in his ass, right? The front office went and traded for Kevin Durant. That wasn't his fault. He had really good players that they traded for. Those guys were playing well together. I mean, they didn't need to trade for Durant. That was the front office that decided to do that. You know what I'm saying? Too many superstars on the squad, and it kind of undermines the coach. That's why Monty Williams is not the coach right now. So now what do Phoenix do? And like, what coach is going to go over there to coach them now? Who's coaching them? They're going to get Tyronn Lue or something like that. One of those head coaches that just figurehead coaches, whatever. Is a good coach, but doesn't mind getting his ass kicked. By the star players. That's what Tyronn Lue does. He has the experience with LeBron James and stuff. With the undermining, the coaching undermining and stuff like that. He has experience. So anyway, Eddie C was good. Eddie C. I got to talk to Eddie C soon. I got Mr. JJ's here. He's talking about the 25 pick. He said, we have that Bucks first round pick in 2025. That could be a real good pick. Yeah, now it ends up being it, especially if they ended up moving off of Giannis or if they start spiraling. They might end up moving off of Giannis. We'll see. Once again, Paris Duggar, he does have a super chat here. So this is the guy I wanted to pop up in here. So he just saying what's up to me, man. So shout out to Paris Duggar. Appreciate you, man. Always showing up with the $2 love, man. Definitely appreciate you. Let me keep it moving here. So Cassell can help our guards, can help our guys get some damn handle. That's one thing. Getting handle, help the guys facilitate properly. That's certain things that guys need to do that on their own time. Professional coaches don't need to be teaching guys how to play the game. Learning how to play the game and working on your mistakes and stuff is stuff that you do on your own in the off season. We don't hire a head coach to teach guys how to play basketball. It's just ridiculous, especially a team that made it to the second round of the playoffs. We're on to bigger and better things. It says Vogel's going to the Mavs. That's interesting. Was Kid fired over there yet? I don't know if Kid was fired. Yeah, man. So just shout out to you. Let me see. Almighty Finesse was good. Almighty. Almighty hasn't fucked with me in a while. But shout out to Almighty. Hope everything is good with you, man. Just scrolling through these comments. See anything that jumps out at me. You got Jeremy Grant as a free agent. Jeremy Grant would be nice too. You know, Jeremy Grant, Kuzma. They got quite a few players, man. And like I said, I didn't really get into that yet. But I'll do that on another pod when I get a chance this week. I'll see if I can throw some stuff at you guys and see what you guys think. Once again, shout out to the comments. If you can get into the live show, whatever, please hit me up in the comments or whatever. Just hit me up social media. We can talk about stuff if you want to. You know what I'm saying? Just hit me up. Uh is Uchimura available? I'm not sure. But looks like the Lakers love him. Like the Lakers love him, man. But Uchimura would have been dope. I always thought that Uchimura should have been the guy that we picked up. We should have picked up Uchimura. If we had Uchimura coming off the bench, that would have helped us a lot as far as Julius. Because Julius' leg was busted. So that would have gave Julius Randle the proper rest because then we would have had Uchimura, as a starter at this point now, holding it down. I think he would have been perfect. Having him as a starting power forward while Julius Randle was out, it would have gave him a chance to get himself right and it would have Julius Randle would have to come back, and fit in, to what we're doing. I'm quite sure that Hugh would have had us playing decent. You know, he said I want to trade for Wiggins. That's all possible. Training for Wiggins and stuff like that. That's all possible. Like I said, for Toronto, I think Toronto in their transition now, I think they need to try to get some Toronto-based players, man. So trading, let's say, RJ, trying to trade for RJ or try to trade for Wiggins or try to trade for both of them is probably something they probably should do. The thing is, if we trade for RJ, we definitely gonna get one of their players back. So if they're gonna trade Siakam, if they're gonna trade OG Anunoby, or some of the other guys that they have on their squad too, I would love a piece of any of those guys that they have because they're good players, championship winning players on that squad there that are basically up for sale as a team that's in transition there. Shout out to Jackal. Always shout out to Jackal. People are so desperate to get rid of Randall. It's ridiculous to me. Like, listen, yo, Randall deserves it because with that whole telling the crowd to shut the fuck up and all that stuff, I still remember that stuff, But at the same time, too, I remember when Carmelo Anthony slapped Marty Collins. You know what I'm saying? But people still seem to want to put Melo's name in the rafters. Now I get that. Maybe I'll talk about that on another pod too. But Melo deserves to be in the rafters just because of his career. He's had an outstanding career. So he played with the Knicks a long time. So the Knicks should retire his number just based off his legacy as an NBA player. You know what I'm saying? But trading Randall just so desperately to trade him, you have to make it make sense. Make it make sense. If the Knicks are going to get better through the trade, then I'm with it. But it can't be one of those trades where we just getting rid of the guy for a third round draft pick, a third pick in the draft, that doesn't guarantee that there's going to be anything good. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't guarantee it. We get that kid Amen here. I think that would be good. He's a good kid. But it's somebody that we have to wait and see. I don't think he's going to come into the league 20 points per game. He might, you know, but we have to hope that he does that, you know. Anyway, especially with Tom Thibodeau here and all that, it's just a bad fit. We're a team that's trying to win now, not waiting to go down the road with a 65-year-old coach. Let me keep it moving here. So goofy fans are trying to discredit his Cavs series performance. A lot of fans are just goofy in general. Fans are goofy in general. You got to give players credit for when they play well. Also, you got to give them the business when they don't play well either. Like I said, Mitchell Robinson is my guy. I don't like Mitchell Robinson. So, like, how dare you talk bad about Mitchell Robinson? It's crazy. People say, "I'll give Mitchell Robinson a pass," but not because of the way he plays, because of the way they think that he could play. That's that's insane to me. Same thing with Archie Barrett. People all give him a pass because he's only 21. He got plenty of time to grow and this, that, and the other. Yeah, but at the same time, if he's not playing good, he's not playing good. Shout out to Julian Bloom, one of my guys too. Always definitely showing love to me everywhere. So definitely appreciate you, man. See you on Twitter and things of that nature. Let's keep it moving. Uh yeah, I mean that was documented. Definitely documented arguments on the bench. You know what I'm saying. So I mean, it is what it is. That's the guy that he was holding accountable. He got Durant and those guys, at the end, and he ended up getting fired after they got those guys. So that just shows you the front office basically fired themselves by getting rid of a good coach in Monty Williams. Because it wasn't his fault that they didn't win. It's the front office's fault. Uh, Ben Simmons might work under Tibbs. Just get Ben back. I don't know about that. This guy, Ben Simmons, I think he's just waiting to play his contract out. I don't think Ben Simmons plans to play another game of basketball or meaningful basketball again in a day in his life. I think he's just waiting for his contract to be up. Once his contract's up, he's gonna go back to Australia, and we'll probably never see him again. You know? Man. Let me see. I agree with too many superstars, but Monty lost the team last year. Yeah, he did. He lost the team. He absolutely did. Because, but at the same time, too, you want to talk about Monty Williams trying to hold the team accountable. If you look at all the highlights there with this guy, Monty Williams, if you look at the highlights, Devin Booker was cursing out DeAndre Ayton. You got Durant was cursing him out. Quite a few people too. PJ Tucker was cursing him out. Like everybody's cursing that cat out. Everybody's cursing him out. I don't even remember if PJ Tucker was on Phoenix. If he was on a different team, but DeAndre Ayton, he was getting cursed out like crazy. No, well, PJ Tucker was cursing out that dude Reed on Philly. So that's what I'm thinking about. But as far as Phoenix, definitely Booker, definitely Durant. You can see him cursing out Aiden, where Aiden gets up and walks out the huddle and stuff. So it's just bugged out, man. But he lost the team. He lost the team because they basically gave up on the team by trading everything. They traded the whole team for Durant. You know, they traded Mikal Bridges. They traded his backup too. That kid. What's the kid's name? Cam Johnson. They traded Cam Johnson in that trade. So they basically traded their present and future. Basically half his rotation for Durant, which is crazy. So what do you want? What do you want? The team gave up on the coach already. The team gave up on the coach to have the star there. So I bet you that they're probably gonna after Chris Paul, they're probably gonna try to get off of Chris Paul. They're probably gonna try to get another star there. I wouldn't be surprised if they got Harden over there in Phoenix. Because that's the type of team, that's the type of time they're on. And like I said, I don't think that's the right move. The right move is not to get the superstars anymore. It needs to get back to team basketball. Let me keep it moving here. This Nick Gray said, "Peach, only teams have yep, I'm with you, man. Yeah, I got strep throat, man. So I don't think anybody's ever had strep throat before. Like my throat is like on fire. They also told me to get a lot of phlegm too. But still, I love to do this shit, man. So I'm gonna keep doing it as long as I can. Um, they thought KD was an instant chip. Negative, yeah. So I mean, Jigga Man is saying that he lost the whole locker room. So I mean, I think that's cap. You know what I'm saying? I think that's cap. So let's just see what this is about here. See what this is about. I'm gonna click Phoenix here. I'm just gonna casually take a look at what they did last year. 45 wins. Okay, a 40. We're talking about a 45 win team, right? 45 win team. Let's talk about the games started. Let's do that. Games started. Where's Kevin Durant? Kevin Durant started 8 games for them. You know, started 8 games for them. There you go. Most of the players that they had, you got Torrey Craig. Torrey Craig ended up being their starting power forward over there in Phoenix. Chris Paul's has been playing a shell of himself. He's basically playing his age now. Mikal Bridges was their number one number two guy. Devin Booker. They got OG Okogie was there. Started 26 games. Cameron Johnson. You know what I'm saying? He played 25 minutes per game, 17 games or whatever. These are the different guys here. But then you look at Kevin Durant. Like I said, he only played 8 games. So, like, what do you want to say? What do you want to say? Who did he actually lose? Did he lose? Okay, DeAndre Ayton. He lost DeAndre Ayton. But did he lose Torrey Craig? Did he lose Chris Paul? Who else did he lose? Let's take a look at their playoffs, right? Take a look at their playoff roster. So this is the guys they went to the playoffs with. So I mean, you want to say that he lost somebody? Did he lose Cameron Payne? Did he lose Landry Shamet? Because if you want to look at the regular season, Landry Shamet, he went from being a guy that started 9 games, only played 40 games, 20 minutes per game, and now Shamet ends up being like a starter, or like he has to be a guy that's relied on to do more than he was doing before. Who started for them? You got 3 main starters, and then Chris Paul only played 7 games out of the possible 11. You got Okogie there. He played 10, started 5. Look at that. Craig started 5, 11. So I'm just trying to find out who did he lose. Are we talking about guys down here like Jock Landell? Did he lose Jock Landell? Did he lose T.J. Warren? Did he lose Terrence Ross? Did he lose Damian Lee? Did he lose Bismack Biyombo? I don't know what you're talking about. You know, I don't know what you're talking about. When you got Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, you have to play them heavy minutes. So that kills your rotation right there. DeAndre Ayton, he didn't really have anybody coming off the bench to really play for DeAndre. Bismack Biyombo was there. Maybe he should have played him a little bit more. I don't know. Would that have made a difference? Chris Paul is getting old now. 12 points, 7 assists. Should he have played Cameron Payne a little bit more? That sounds crazy to me. I don't get it. Torrey Craig, should he have played Torrey Craig 40 minutes per game? I don't know. Who did he lose? Who did he lose? I don't know. Just weird. Just weird, 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 weird. So anyway, I'm out of here, guys. I just wanted to give my 2 cents here about the Knicks and what all this whole Tom Thibodeau and Julius Randle thing, the fire that's underneath them. How could we get better with Tom Thibodeau as the head coach? I really don't know how, because he's not going to change his playing style. He changed it a little bit, picked up the pace, got a shooting a little bit three, but that has to do with the point guard, I think. But so we made that improvement. So how do we improve upon what we did last year under Tom Thibodeau? Regardless of what you say, we definitely need to give we need to get Jalen Brunson a proper backup. We need to get a shooter, or maybe Grimes needs to finally step up. Maybe IQ needs to step up. Those guys need to just step up. But we do have Fournier, we do have Rose, we have something that we can do there as far as deleting their salary to possibly get a free agent or something like that to get another shooter in here. Who's that person? I have no idea. But just it's simple like that. If we add a shooter, right? If we add like another scorer, another shooter, a swingman shooter on the squad to get us a point guard, a backup point guard, is that enough to help Tom Thibodeau win next year? Because at this point now, we have to be talking about getting into the third round, into the finals now. We got to the second round. Next year, we have to exceed that. We cannot just get deleted in the second round again. We can't miss the playoffs. That's number one. We can't miss the playoffs, and we can't get beat in the second round again. We have to make it second round and beyond. Championship now. So adding a backup point guard for Brunson to give him help. Getting another scorer out there, another wingman, another 3-and-D kind of player there. Jeremy Grant. That's somebody that we could throw into the mix there to come off the bench. If we do that. Maybe to me personally, I like to double down on the physicality. So we need to get another goon in here. I don't know who that player would be. We'll talk about that more as time goes on. But is that enough to get Tom Thibodeau into the championship round? Because like I said, at this point, there's no other way that we should be talking about this. We need to we need to win a championship. Tom Thibodeau 65. We're gonna get Josh Hart signed here. That's no here no there. But Josh Hart is not the 3-and-D guy. We need another one. We need another Josh Hart here. Whether that be a power forward, small forward, or whatever. We need to get another Josh Hart here. Like I said, backup point guard, and possibly another scorer, another wing person. So I don't know how we're gonna do it, but we need to do it because, like I said, there's no more fooling around here. We already showed that we can get to the second round. We need to do it again and then exceed it. So that's my thoughts on this whole thing here. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like once again, for those that popped in late, please check out the replay. And I'll catch you guys soon, man. I definitely appreciate you guys showing up in the chat for me. Shout out to my man, the Graffin Read here. It's my coworker. Definitely appreciate you coming in, man. Showing love as always, man. Big time no to Harrison Barnes. You guys are talking about Harrison Barnes in the chat. We've been talking about Harrison Barnes for years, man. It's like, whoever's still mentioning Harrison Barnes to the Knicks, they need to cut it out. Harrison Barnes' basketball days are over. Kelly Oubre is somebody is interesting. I wouldn't mind getting a Kelly Oubre here because he's an unconscious kind of scorer. So the Knicks kind of need that kind of guy, somebody just not just like unconscious. If he's coming to the bench, you just know this guy can get his bucket sometimes. So that's somebody like that is very important. So I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting how we're going to make these changes here. We definitely got to get it going here because Miami Heat just proved that we definitely need to get somebody else in here. And then also too, just the way that we shook up Cleveland, the way that we took Cleveland's soul from them, man. I would love to get another big guy here, just so if they try to come through and be physical with us again, then we just throw them on their ass again. That I want to do. I want to do that every year to people. So we definitely got to do that. Double down on the physicality, get us an unconscious scorer. As a swingman kind of thing, backup point guard, and then a 3-point shooter or something like that into the mix. So anyway, like I said, my man Harlem saying Phil Bretta got the strep throat thing going on, man. I'm fighting through it. I know you guys hear my voice cracking. I'm fighting through it right now, but I got to get up out of here. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please take a look at the replay. Please hit the like and subscribe on the way out, and I'll catch you guys next time. Shout out to Trav B. Ryan on the outro track, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.
Eru, I see you. Die hard. Trav. We gonna do this one the right way. We in here forever. Yeah. Die hard. Homie, die hard. You can check the swag, he the realest by far. Swimming in that blue and orange, he the lifeguard. Yeah, he been through pain, at least he got some nice scars. He can smell the trophy, yeah, you need it back to back. Represent himself, his own name is on his back. 10 toes down, try to stop him, he come back. rappers, he will knock you off your tracks. You ain't saying nothing, Nero been here from the start. He been working in the lab to take his team and make it art. See him going over film to help him build and make him smart. He will tell you how he feels because he's real and he got heart. He will never fade away, he will never change his face. Everybody picking faves, and he's feeling out of place. Cause he is for the team, and he always rep the squad. Like that Christmas movie, he gon' always die. City on my back. They ask me what's my name, and it is on my back. I'm just speaking facts. We got big dreams, we ain't looking back. We be really die hard, yeah, that's a fact. We be really die hard, ain't no going back. Make the whole crowd rise like a thermostat. Fourth quarter, I'm the killer, that's